So you may be wondering what the process of transformation is really like, because it's not the material of discipleship journey that transforms people. Certainly there's the truths of the word there, but it's actually the process, and I want to show that to you. So let me begin by sharing a story with you. There's a pastor friend of mine that called me up for lunch, and I've learned over the years that if someone invites you to lunch, it's always the will of God to take them up on it, especially when they're buying. So we go out for lunch, and he says this to me, "Dave, my church knows the Word of God really well, but they're not being transformed." And he said, "I know you're a disciple-making guy, so can you help me with this?" So we began to talk this process through, and I said, "Well, what is your aim?" He said, "Well, I want them to be transformed into the image of Jesus." And I said, "I'm with you on that." So I laid out for him a process that I've seen throughout the scriptures, and once we talk about this, you'll see it there too. So the end in mind is transformation. Well, we have to always realize that you and I can't transform anybody. Have you already figured that one out? But God is the one that can bring transformation. So that's God's job. And God does that job in an amazing way, from the apple seed that transforms not only to a tree and another apple, but to orchards of apples, all the way to people's lives. So that's our end game, is transformation. Where does it start? It begins with revelation. And when you hear that word revelation, I want you to think of the parting of curtains, where once you didn't see it, and now you see it. And there's a difference between revelation and information. See, we live in an information age where we get it in a lot of different ways, but revelation is different. Information would be like, hey, we read the book of Esther, and I found out that God's name's not even in it once, but look at how God's working all through it. Well, that's information. Transformation would be as you're in the Word, you're listening to somebody, and God convicts you that your relationship with your dad is not in a good place. See, there's something inside that gives you an opportunity to act on it. Well, God is the revealer. He's the one that pulls the curtains for us to see. So he's doing the heavy lifting here. He's the revealer and the transformer. What's our role? Our role is obedience. It's to obey what God is revealing. You see, obedience is the engine of transformation. Without obedience, transformation doesn't happen in us or through us. Revelation, obedience, transformation. As you go through a discipleship journey, this is the key process behind it all. And I want to encourage you to make application of that each and every time you open the scriptures and you open a discipleship journey.